Hey guys, how's it going? We're just bringing you a quick random video here, well, out of nowhere, to talk about the bands that just went live. This is something we've been waiting for and been talking about, obviously, quite a bit. And so we're going to go over what the bands are first, just real quick, briefly go over them, and then so you guys know, and then we'll give our thoughts on them. Let us know what you guys think below on these bands, and yeah. So, Oscar, you want to go through what was banned?
Yeah, so I mean, just a quick run through of what was banned was we have Eva, Story Listener. We had Ruin Story, which is very interesting. Evil Genie, and then True Blade. So those are the 4 cards we saw banned in New Frontiers. Going to Wanderer, it looks like they added to it Speaker of Eternal Night, so Scheherazade, Otherworld Dreams, as well as Fair Spell and True Blade of Spirits. So they must have been watching the Wanderer GP to see what they need to target on that Wanderer stuff, I guess.
Yeah, and they also in Wander unbanned Morgiana, the Wise Servant, for all
That's
you
cool.
Morgiana fans. But you can now finally use that promo art card that came out after she was banned.
Man, I hope we bought all of them off the market.
Yeah, hurry,
Kidding.
go buy some.
Podcast joke. You should probably watch our podcast to get it.
I apologize if Oscar cuts in and out, by the way, because Melissa is downloading PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. And in Origins, they banned Planting Beans. Did you say that?
No, I didn't. But something I was telling you that I thought interesting before we hit record was I believe Ruined Story is the only SR that's been banned in New Frontiers. I was looking at the old list. I don't have one from before when Reflect was banned or the between phase to know like when Leviatine got banned if there was any more SRs. But I think it's the only SR that's ever been banned.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's considering how many strong SRs we've had before. I guess none of them have been able to be like combo strong. They're usually like self-sufficient strength, which usually isn't too crazy overpowered, if that makes sense.
Right.
But Rune Story was strong on its own, and it worked with other cards inside of a Sherry deck. So it's just a lot of factors that made it a pretty obvious ban. And an interesting thing, it's not like stuff came out that all of a sudden made old stuff strong. If you look, with the exception of True Blade, all 3 cards are just TSW cards. Like, it's very clear, if we're being honest, they dropped the ball hard in TSW as far as balance goes. And banning 3 cards, in general, would have been a lot. They banned 4 cards total, but 3 cards alone would have been a lot of cards to ban all at once. And all 3 are from TSW, so just an interesting...
Yeah.
You're going to say something?
No, I mean, I agree, and it's interesting. Everything here is green.
Yeah.
There you go, Colin. Eat it up.
I
Are you
mean,
disappointed that you didn't see Laurite on this list?
I am. I
Or
feel like,
Scheherazade?
I gave my reason to Oscar of why I thought Sherry should have been banned is because even outside, I'm super over it with the amount of how strong Sherry is and how dominant it is. I was pretty over it just banning Sherry just from that perspective, but also the perspective of pulling rulers, especially in TSW, being able to pull Sherry was very low odds. And so by banning her, when you go and buy packs and stuff, it doesn't overall bring the value down of booster boxes or packs or the excitement of opening packs and stuff like that, because the odds of pulling a banned card are really low. But with 3 cards banned out of TSW, the odds of you pulling a banned card is just really high now. And so I feel like that's just going to... It won't, I don't think, lower incentive too much, but it's one of those things where just like the odds of you pulling a completely useless card. I guess you can use it in Wander, but still...
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really use it in Wander. You can use Rune Story in Wander, but the other 2 are completely useless in Wander because Scheherazade is banned in Wander.
I mean, for anybody truly upset about the cards that are banned and not being able to use them, you can use them in Epic Stories. Just saying.
But in answer to your question, yes, I am very bummed out that Laurite was not banned. I feel like I'm glad True Blade was banned. It's one I haven't seen too much interaction with, but the times I did interact with it, it's like, well, that's kind of annoying, especially inside of a green deck. But so, if I had a choice, I probably would have chose Laurite over True Blade just because I feel like Laurite is more game oppressive, as far as fun factor, being able to actually just play the game. Loreite's far more oppressive. But True Blade is a nice ban in its place, and maybe Lorite will drop off a bit now that Sherry might be nerfed a bit, or it'll drop up even higher.
It'll stay consistent. I'm sure it'll still be seen. It's really good, Lorite. There's no reason why not to run that just on its own. And then I feel it was kept in because the card that it works with now. Which one is that called? I already forget the new one.
Stupid 3-cost green, something like that.
Anyways, that card. Thank you, Carlin. As well as the fact that I found it. It's Lorite 7 Disciples. Yeah. As well as a card that we saw in the Italian box opening, which was a chase card, and it looks like it's like they say a 3D-ish Orphica, which is an SR from ACN. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lorite is one of the chase cards that has that 3D look to it. So it adds on even more reason why they shouldn't ban it just yet. Or what you go to your pre-release and open it up and you're like, oh, that's banned, just toss it aside,
Yeah.
I really want to see what these cards look like, because they keep saying 3D hollow effect to them. I'm assuming like the way those coins, back when I used to play with Pogs, had the 3D effect to it, like it went inwards, like a dinosaur was inside of it.
Yeah. And I was briefly reading like some of the things and stuff, and it's interesting just how I don't know what the word is, just like unaware R&D is. Because, talking about True Blade, the sense is, it was meant to be played as a Gills package alongside Elementals and other Spirit Magics. However, it was being used in just other decks. And it's like, well, no shit. It's a 1-cost quick cast with Remnant that deals 500 damage to 2-cost or less Resonators, which is across the board a killer to 2-cost or less Resonators to around 80 to 90% of them. And that has Remnant, so you have a 2-cost 1,000 damage green spell. How was that able to get by? Yeah. I haven't fully read all of the descriptions. We just sort of saw this and sort of went live. Right. But I'm gonna assume it's something similar. Probably them not expecting just the infinite rune story loop inside of this story deck, and not realizing that a 2-drop, potentially 1,000 quick cast card could be really good, and different things like that.
I am sad to see Ruin Story go, although I understand, it says here in the article, it would loop your chance over and over again, like what you saw when you played it locally. But it was great, at least for the banishing effect, just to surprise your opponent.
It would have been a great just 2-cost dual color. Your opponent banishes a Resonator, or maybe that effect and or cancel target spell unless your opponent pays 1. Just those 2 effects still would have been a great SR. I think that would have been played still, because a 2-cost banish effect is great, and it's a 2-cost quick cast banish effect is great, or a secondary effect to cancel in a pinch and stuff like that. Just those 2 effects. But then, as I always say, they added another effect, and then they added another effect, and then they made it a story card. It's just stupid at some point.
So with what we've seen banned, do you think that and they showed us a little pie graph up ahead, how dominant Scheherazad's been in New Frontiers. Do you think that's going to change now?
I think it will. I think more decks will be opened up because this affects green in general. The banning of True Blade and Rune Story specifically. We saw both of those cards being run outside of Sherry and inside of Sherry decks and stuff. So getting rid of Rune Story gets rid of the consistency of Sherry and and sort of the oppression that it can give, as well as True Blade. I didn't play against any Sherry decks that ran Evil Genie, so I'm not 100% sure how oppressive that was, but in story listener stuff. So I think Sherry will still be played. How oppressive it is now, I don't know. Or if people will redirect how they build the Sherry deck, so it'll be just as strong, just from a different angle. Which is my fear, which is why I initially said that I think they should just ban it and have it over with. But
yeah,
we'll wait and see. What's the next GP?
The Collinsville.
Is it?
GP is Collins? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Oh man, that's gonna be
How do you feel
interesting.
We're going to Collinsville, by the way, in case you guys haven't seen us mention it elsewhere. And how do you feel, Colin, knowing we're going to Collinsville with these band lists?
I'm glad that they did something. My fear was that they were going to be like, well, let's wait and see what the new set does, or something like that. Some bullcrap like that. And so I'm glad they at least did something. Rune Story was the biggest one. I'm sad they didn't ban Lorite. That makes it so it's hard to run any deck that does combos. You just have to run straight counter decks and stuff that doesn't use rely on abilities. So now you literally section out an entire huge ass portion of the game, unfortunately, which is why I was hoping for the Lorite ban. So hopefully next set they ban Lorite, because I don't think we can have a healthy meta, not healthy, a sort of more diverse meta until you get rid of cards that directly get rid of diversity. But I feel a lot better going into it now. It's a little bit more open. Like, I feel like I have a better chance with some of my random decks I'm going to start testing with to figure out to run. So there's not that sort of like, well, I'm going to run this deck and knock it top 8, but we'll see how I do. I feel like there might be a chance, and I'll still build to see. It's going to be hard to like go against other Sherry decks because I don't know what Sherry decks are going to build. So I'll be curious what if are there any ARGs or foreign GPs or anything happening?
Team in Italy. It looks to be about it. So there's going to be some other tournaments.
We might be able to see something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll see what people do with it.
All right. Well, like I said, let us know what you guys think of the ban list. If you agree with it, if you think they went too far, not far enough. If there's other things you think they should have preemptively banned stuff, maybe for Keurig or another ruler that might become oppressive in case Sherry drops off. Or do you think Sherry will just stay as she is and different things like that? But let us know below, and we'll see you guys next.
Well, hold on. I was say, and if you guys want to see more about what we've talked about today, we'll definitely read over the article and talk with some other people and get their opinions. But make sure to tune to our podcast, which comes out every Tuesday evening. This next podcast, we should actually have Mike Rants from Grinning Remnant with us, so we can get his opinion on things too.
All right. Yeah, it's true. So it should be a pretty interesting conversation. I'm pretty excited about that. But
thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys.
Oh yeah, be sure to call in to the podcast. Just go listen to our last podcast at the beginning for the phone number. But call in if you want to actually like have us talk about the specific thing about the bands. But yeah, see you guys next time.
512-522-4188 is the phone number. Call in.
Okay, see you guys next time.